From the Home Slice News Center, this is the Daily Slice for Friday, January 20th, 2023. I'm D-Ray Knight. This is what's going on. 3 South Dakota chiefs of police told a Senate committee Thursday that repeat drug offenders are causing a spike in crime in the state, and often violent crimes. They also said the current ways of dealing with drug offenders are not working, with too little prison space and too few drug addiction rehabilitation resources. Rapid City Police Chief Don Hedrick says changes in the juvenile justice system often fail to deter juvenile offenders. The chiefs of police agree that there needs to be more incarceration for drug users and more options for rehabilitation. The South Dakota Senate passed a bill dealing with analog drugs. Amy Rose has the details.
South Dakota senators passed a bill Thursday that updates the statute defining illegal analog drugs. Analog drugs are chemically similar to illegal drugs, but have a few differences. Senator Aaron Tobin, a nurse practitioner from Winter, says this is a bill the legislature takes up every session to stay ahead of the designer drugs. Senate Bill 27 also has an emergency clause, which requires a 2/3 vote, so once it passes, it immediately goes into effect. The measure passed 28-2 and will be assigned to a House committee for consideration.
This just in, one person has died after an officer-involved shooting in Rapid City just after 10 p.m. last night. A Rapid City police officer made contact with an individual in the area of Surfwood Drive and North Maple Avenue, and that person took off running from them. Police say the officer pursued the individual on foot, and a struggle of some sort ensued. The police officer drew and attempted to use their taser in the struggle, and the individual then pointed a firearm at the officer. The police officer fired at the armed individual who was struck and killed. The scene was secured, and deputies from the Pennington County Sheriff's Office came and took over, and the Division of Criminal Investigation was called in to take over the investigation. In national and international news, President Joe Biden says there's no there following the discovery of classified documents and official records at his home and former office. Biden says they found a handful of documents that were filed in the wrong place. He spoke to reporters Thursday during a tour of the damage from storms in California. Biden says he is fully cooperating and looking forward to getting this resolved quickly. Attorney General Merrick Garland last week appointed Robert Hur, a former Maryland U.S. attorney, to serve as a special counsel to oversee the Justice Department's inquiry into the documents. The Supreme Court has wrapped up its investigation into the leaked Dobbs decision. Amy Rose has more.
The Supreme Court says an 8-month investigation has failed to find who leaked a draft of the court's opinion overturning abortion rights. That investigation included more than 120 interviews and revealed shortcomings in how sensitive documents are secured. The court says 97 employees, including the justices' law clerks, swore under oath that they didn't disclose a draft of Justice Samuel Alito's opinion that overturned Roe v. Wade. It's unclear whether the justices themselves were questioned about the leak. The court says its investigative team has to date been unable to identify a person responsible by a preponderance of the evidence.
Actor Alec Baldwin and a weapons specialist will be charged with involuntary manslaughter in the fatal shooting of a cinematographer on a New Mexico movie set. The Santa Fe District Attorney issued a statement Thursday announcing the charges against Baldwin and Hannah Gutierrez Reed, who supervised weapons on the set of the Western Rust. Helena Hutchins died shortly after being wounded during rehearsals at a ranch on the outskirts of Santa Fe in October of 2021. Baldwin was pointing a pistol at her when the gun went off. Officials say the assistant director who handed Baldwin the gun has signed an agreement to plead guilty to negligent use of a deadly weapon. Your weather forecast from the Home Slice Weather Center. Partly cloudy and a little breezy with a high of 40. Tonight's low, 25. More of the same Saturday and Sunday with highs in the low 40s. And that was your Daily Slice for Friday, January 20th, 2023. The Daily Slice is a production of Home Slice Media Group, hosted by D-Ray Knight with Amy Rose. Executive producer Mark Houston. Engineered by Chris Jacquez. I'm D-Ray Knight. Have a great weekend.